The former chief executive at CKE Restaurants is Andy Puzder, and he joins me now. Andy, you lived in California for 25 years. You left because of the state's failed policies, and you moved CKE's headquarters out of California. Will the fires create serious political change?
I hope they will. I think if people think back, they're going to realize that when we had Republican governors like Governor Duke Mason, Governor Pete Wilson, even Schwarzenegger, who wasn't a great governor, but at least those governors could stop these ridiculous progressive policies and could actually advocate for things that would protect the people of California. So hopefully people in California will say, were we better off under Duke Mason, Wilson, and Schwarzenegger, or under Brown and Newsom? And I think the conclusion has to be that you were better off before than you are now. I mean, the state's, it looks like it's burning down. This is a very devastating event that will be felt in California for many years to come. People who haven't been to California should know this was a very beautiful, affluent tourist attraction area. You couldn't find a nicer place to live in the world, and now it's burned down.
We've often speculated about whether we'd see a Republican elected to statewide office in California in my lifetime. Now, I'm getting on in years, and so the answer was often there's no way you're going to get a Republican elected in your lifetime because it's too short. But are you prepared to change that now? You think a Republican could get elected?
Yeah, if somebody, the quality of candidate that we had in 2010, we had Meg Whitman, who had been the CEO of eBay. And then in 2014, we had Neil Kashkari, very sophisticated financial guy who's now the president of the Federal Reserve Bank in Minneapolis. If we have a candidate of that quality, the people can understand, really knows what they're doing and will take actions that actually could benefit the people of the state, I think somebody like that would have a chance. So I think it's going to depend. Even Larry Elder, but he was a good guy, a good candidate. And just as long as we have a good, solid candidate, I think that's what will make the difference.
Wall Street's largest banks announced that they're leaving this thing called the Net Zero Banking Alliance. Here's the question. Is corporate America finally walking away from climate extremism?
But before I answer that, I want to add to what Mike Huckabee said. And congratulations on 15 years as somebody who's been watching and being a guest on this show for those whole 15 years. I got to tell you, the show started out great, and it's just getting better. I wanted to make that point before we moved on. On the ESG front, I think the signs are very good. But we've won some battles. The people that have been resisting ESG have won some battles. We have not won this war. What we're seeing is these large asset management firms and corporations walking away from ESG. They claim it's because it's become politicized. It's not. It's because people finally understand what they were doing. People finally understand what ESG means. So the question is, will the policy change? And to determine that, I think we need to look at BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard's proxy voting guidance that comes out this year. Were there changes, or are they still advocating net zero and DEI? And then we need to look at the compensation plans for the major U.S. companies. Are they still compensating executives on these net zero goals, or on these diversity, equity, and inclusion goals? And if they're not, there's been a change. If they are, then things aren't going to change, because that's how you determine where the policy goes.
We're watching. Andy Puzder, thanks for joining us, sir. It's been great having you on the show all these years. We always appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Stu.